Welcome. Okay, so today we are going to talk about Amazon. What has this done to the Australian retail landscape? What does this mean for you as a retailer? And what are our customers saying about it? Have things changed? Has this changed customer behaviour? And in general, as a retailer, should we compete or should we collaborate? And what points should we be considering for all of these aspects? So just a little bit of background. Sorry, apologies, still having, there we go. The Background Retail Doctor Group, we conduct research insights into strategy, into implementation. So really understand the market, use what steps to take in store, online, and at all customer touch points. So we're going to talk a little about Amazon. It has arrived in Australia. It's well and truly here. It has been here over 18 months now. And we really wanted to understand, how has customer usage changed since it's launched? How has this affected customers' lives? Is it cannibalizing current retail? Or is it in addition? Are we changing our paths to purchase? And how can we compete, or should we be collaborating? So if we think back to 2017 and really think about the launch of Amazon, it really was disruption. All retailers, all the media was really expecting very much retail Armageddon. And so then when it launched in December 2017, it really was quite a much softer launch than we expected. So let's have a look at what happened. So we start with this timeline. Launched December 2017. In February 2018, it launched Amazon Unlimited Music. Then the launch of Alexa, Amazon Echo. This is its voice-activated AI. Amazon Prime then launched $4.99 a month in June. This was its lowest cost launch worldwide. For $4.99 a month, we'll talk a bit later about what it was offering the Australian consumers, and we'll also talk a bit more about what Prime means. In July 2018, they closed Amazon.com. This was quite a bold move, so therefore a lot of uproar from customers who were quite used to shopping on Amazon.com. They had their first Prime Day, July 2018. Again, this was classed by Amazon as the most successful Prime Day launch that they had ever had. So again, we had that recently a couple of weeks ago. We had its second Prime Day, and we'll talk a little bit more about that again as we go through. August 2018, we saw the opening of Sydney warehouse, and then since then, several more have been on that path. And then in December 2018, they backtracked a little and decided to allow purchasing from Amazon America, but again, doing this via the Australian website. So it was taking a bit more control over the customers. So what have we seen since the launch? 25 million products you can access through Amazon Australia from the US site. We've got 20,000 dedicated Alexa skills in Australia now. So this is Alexa being their AI. These are voice-activated skills. When it launched with 20 million products, now well over 120 million. So that's in 18 months of increased 6 times the number of products available on the site. New categories, pet, travel, beauty. So we'll talk a bit more about what this means. Increased number of pickup points. So we're seeing pickup lockers, development of growth. Now getting same-day delivery in the cities, Melbourne and Sydney. And Alexa had a big advert during the Super Bowl. So again, Amazon really pushing launch of Alexa, getting Alexa into homes, and Super Bowl being quite a prime example of utilizing a worldwide sports event to really gain traction there. So then we're just going to have a little look at the flag planting of Amazon. So when we compare it to other countries, we can see that in general, it can take anywhere between 2 to 7 years for Amazon to really gain any market share in any company. And when we look back in the US here, it was 1994, I believe, that Amazon launched. So it really took until 2000 for it to gain any sort of market dominance. Canada is a very similar market to Australia, so we can kind of have a look there and just see how it took share. And even now, it's still not quite got the share of wallet. It's in channel dominance phase. But we can see it took several years for it to gain any market share in Canada. So we're seeing that it's probably on its strategic direction for Australia, very much in line with what we've seen elsewhere. Let's have a quick look at Prime Day. So I think what was quite interesting this year is everyone was very interested to go online Prime Day. Amazon were interested in creating this customer ecosystem, building their group of customers, and really launching their new products and new categories. So we saw immediately the new categories, beauty, sport and outdoors, baby, really heavily promoted during this period. What we also saw, a quick snippet of the products. If you're looking for Amazon products, very significant discounts. So your Alexa, Kindle, Fire Stick. We saw a large push on the pantry items. This is Amazon's taking on Woolworths and Coles, juggernauts, to really look at pantry items. And then classic categories that you would expect from Amazon, electronics, again, each with heavy discounts. But I think what was key for me on Prime Day is it really is about expanding this Prime community, the Amazon community, and all aspects of the website. We're looking at joining the Prime community. You could only get the Prime deals if you're a Prime member, but you can get 30 days free trial of Prime, very well advertised during this period, showing Amazon Music, 99 cents, 3 months of Kindle Unlimited for $0, Prime Video credits. It really was pushing to get customers into the Amazon ecosystem to be part of that community. I'm just going to talk a little bit about our consumers to begin with. Very much about understanding our customer behavior, because this really comes back to, if we can understand our customers in detail, we can really predict their behaviors and utilize this in store. And I think this is a great quote. Executives who continue to attempt to navigate using demographic maps ordered by age, gender, location, income, will be ill prepared for the speed, scale, and direction of change. So a quick, fantastic example, 2 ladies, same income, same location, both live in London, same age bracket. So traditionally we would treat them in exactly the same way. Katy Perry, Kate Middleton. So these 2 consumers couldn't have any different preferences in their retail purchases, their retail experience, their path to. So we really need to dig that little bit deeper. Another classic example that marketers use, Ozzy Osbourne, Prince Charles. Couldn't be any more different personalities, but very much treated the same way in classic demographics. We really want to dig that little bit deeper and really understand our customer personalities. We have 7 different personalities, and each one of them is seeking a very different retail experience, different cues, different in-store experience, different relationships with their staff, different online journeys. So by really understanding who our customers are, we can really target them on this emotional level. So we've got our 7 different personality types here. If you have a quick look, you can very quickly, maybe one will be really drawn to you. You'll be really drawn to one box. I'll let you have a quick look. I'm sitting very much in the blue box. This is me. I'm a numbers person, degree in maths. Everything is in a spreadsheet. Even my holiday plans are in a spreadsheet. Very much a disciplined personality. So what does this mean? Our orange, our adventurer, very much loves a challenge, attracted to risk, make it an experience for them. They're going to come into a store and want an in-store experience, to try things in store. If we wanted to attract them, looking for challenges, gamification very much in their loyalty schemes. If we look at our performer, get to the point, make it quick. It's all about scarcity, social distinction, standing out from the crowd. Very much tell me what I need, don't make me work for it, just give me the best. Very much looking for quality over price. Price is not an issue to this customer. Disciplined. will come to their own judgment. I will create a spreadsheet on all the different products and I will really do my due diligence before purchase. So this customer is very difficult to connect with on this emotional level, as they're very much analytic, looking for all the information. How do we give them that information to make their decisions? Hedonist, curiosity, spontaneity. It's all about fun. It's an experience. Shopping is entertainment. They're not going to budget. We're just going to purchase spur of the moment. Very much like the magpies of retail. What's the new product? What's the most fun thing that they can do? The harmonizer. This is our largest segment in Australia at the moment. Trust and security, so important to them. Very much listen to what their friends are telling them. Social media, reviews, blogs, everything along this line. Very much important. Family. So if we're going to try and market and try and build an experience to them, it's all about the reviews, word of mouth, social media, warranties, guarantees, heritage of the brand. Moving into our open-minded. This sector very much look for creativity, pleasure, sensuality. It's all about appealing to the senses. Very much looking for walk past appeal of the stores. They will spur of the moment notice a store as they walk past and walk in. Traditionalists, very much into order, reliability. They'll do what they've always done. They will want to trust their retailers. Really deep level trust insurance is important to this group. So that was just a very quick overview about personality type. And as we go through this research, we'll really see how it's important to understand not just our demographics, but go a level deeper and really understand our customers on a personality level. If we can understand why they behave the way that they do, we can predict their behavior. We know that 95% of customer decision making is actually made in the subconscious brain, well before the rational brain takes over. So really understanding these subconscious drivers is important. So let's talk about the research. So Retail Doctor Group, in partnership with Lightspeed, have been conducting this research for 18 months now. We've had 3 waves of research: pre-launch, just after launch, and now 18 months on. In each one, we've sampled 1,000 Australians, nationally representative, age, gender, and location within Australia. So we really do have a robust data set for each of these occasions. First question we asked was looking at how do you prefer to shop? And what channels do you utilize? So we're seeing still quite consistent with the physical store being the preference among consumers. We're not seeing a large movement in their preferred methods. However, we are seeing that they are shopping across a range: mobile, internet, websites, group buying. So the like of Groupon, Catch Group are very much coming up there with 1 in 5 customers utilising it, websites. So we're definitely seeing this development of a retail ecosystem. We're seeing that we are also getting a high spenders. We know our performers, adventurous and hedonists, much higher spenders online. So what does this mean for a retailer? Well, if you know that you have these segments, you know that your online offer is very important for increasing that basket size, increasing the average transaction values. I think what is really key is to understand, what is your online offer? Is it your own website? And if so, is it a mobile app? Is it a desktop website? What level do we need there? Is it a third-party distribution, Amazon, Iconic, eBay? And then how do we then link this into store? The growth of click and collect, the growth of creating the store as the bastion, the real retail experience. We now ask the question, when you are shopping online, what devices are you using? So while we can see that the laptop computer is fairly consistent, #1 usage, we are seeing a large proportion of shoppers now moving on to the mobile phone. And we can see definitely that our adventurers, it's their #1 method. So they really want to have mobile enabled sites, apps. And again, if this is in your target segment, we need to be thinking, what is our mobile optimized solution? So we had a quick look on each survey to understand awareness of current big online retailers. While we can see that Amazon and eBay have pretty much got broad awareness across the category and across the consumers, we are seeing a rise of Kogan. So we can see that off the back of Amazon, Kogan have been very smart in their deployment and really are picking up consumer attention. We can also see the rise in a few others, Iconic moving up there as a marketplace, and Catch of the Day, again with a purchase by Woolworths, seen very much a move there. So let's have a look about Amazon. We can now see that 89% are aware of the launch of Amazon Australia. And then 56% have actually visited the website. So that's over half of the Australian population have now visited the Australian Amazon website. And 1 in 4 customers have actually purchased. So given that this is a fairly new retailer to Australia, been open 18 months, we've seen 1 in 4 have actually purchased on the site. And when we, go back, we can see the growth since our previous 2018 study, 16% to 25%. So the customers are really waking up and paying attention to Amazon, I feel now. When we dig a little bit deeper, we want to look at who are the frequent purchasers to Amazon. So we can see that 13% of the population are now purchasing once a month and 5% purchasing once a week. So we're definitely seeing this growth of the Amazon community. Customers that are joining Amazon and purchasing on a regular basis. We're seeing our performers really are shopping there often. If we think back to what was the performer looking for, save me time, just get to the point and make it quick. So this predictive ability of Amazon to understand what you want to purchase and get that product to you quickly and easily, I think is really appealing to this performer type. Our hedonists, much more likely to have tried Amazon, again, try new products, give it a go. So again, it's really appealing to these two sectors. So how has this changed customer behavior? We can see 35% are purchasing more frequently. So since the launch of Amazon, we're seeing that's over a third of our customers are purchasing more frequently. 44% it hasn't changed, and 21% saying I'm actually purchasing less. So they tried it to begin with, wasn't for them, and now purchasing less. But what we can see is this is still a net positive shift. So we're definitely seeing the growth of customer interactions with Amazon. So we asked the question, why are you shopping more frequently? So classic answers, more products. So we got that from the beginning, from 20 million products to 120 million. Good experience. So they're creating this frictionless experience, time saving, making it easy for customers, better delivery options. So we know from the launch of the same day delivery in Melbourne and Sydney, Amazon are really working on this aspect. What I think was quite interesting is I've got Amazon Prime. So Prime is very much a large influencer on frequency of purchase. It's Amazon's drive to get customers into the Prime community. And then we can see that once they are Prime members, they will be purchasing more regularly, more frequently, and really understanding their behavior. So let's have a quick look at the different categories. We can see that customer awareness in particular categories has significantly increased since the launch. In particular, we can see toys very much increased in the last 12 months. To begin with, in the first study, we saw a large jump in clothing. So we knew at the time Amazon was really pushing its fast fashion. It really focused its attention on increasing customer knowledge of that fast fashion sector. And we can see now in the last 12 months, toys, accessories, music and beauty have really grown. And I think the way that Amazon have done this is very clever. They're picking particular categories that they can see as potential in the Australian market. So the beauty category is very interesting here, as we've seen the rise of Sephora, Mecca, in particular Mecca creating this fantastic customer tribe. And so Amazon are now trying to get in on the rise of the beauty industry. And we can see by customer awareness, this has grown from 39% when it first launched to 50%. It really is gaining traction. So let's have a quick look at the Amazon offerings. So 75% are aware of Amazon Prime, 56% aware of Amazon Echo. So Previously in our studies, it was a very low awareness of what Amazon Alexa is, but we'll come back and touch on this a little bit later, that we really understand this growth of AI, voice-activated retail. Again, high levels, Prime Video, Prime Music, the customer awareness of the Amazon offer really is growing. If we look a little bit further down, we can see that when we first asked the question of who is Alexa, what is Amazon Alexa, the majority of Australians did not know. When we asked this again in 2018, it was becoming a lot clearer, 55%. We didn't ask it again this year because it's so widely known. We believe this is pretty much a given. We can see 56% very much aware of the offer. When we look into Amazon Prime, when this first launched, there was very much a confusion about what you actually get for Amazon Prime, not understanding the offer, not understanding the benefits. But as we can see now, as time goes on, this is really clearing up in consumers' minds. Amazon Prime TV, very much a driver for awareness of Prime and uptake of Prime. And we'll come back to that slightly. In America, what we are seeing is 1 in 2 households are now members of Amazon Prime. And some recent stats I saw is showing that it's almost at 60%, I believe, now. So it really is growing. So I think what we're looking at in Australia is we're seeing Amazon following that trend. Their aim is to get people into the Prime membership. Sorry, just to touch back on there. And I think as a retailer, we need to be thinking about, well, how do we create our customer communities? How do we create our customer loyalty? What is our loyalty scheme? Do we have one? What is our collecting our database? What are we offering our customers as a reward for their loyalty to us as part of our community? And then again, this touches back to, well, who are our customers? For example, our performers, they just want us to make it easier. Subscription services, their reward for being part of our community is the ability to have a frictionless experience and VIP treatment for them. Whereas other customers may be looking for in-store events and to be actually physically part of this community, to know the staff. So really understanding what is our loyalty scheme? What are we offering? If we have a quick look at the uptake of Amazon's products, we can now see that 7% of Australians are members of Prime. This has really significantly grown in recent years. So this means that they are regular active members. They will be purchasing frequently. And we can see within the performance sector, this doubles up to 14%. 4% have now got Amazon Echo. So again, utilizing this ecosystem to really keep them in the Amazon community, with 3% Prime Video and 5% Prime Music. So what do we actually get for Amazon Prime? So when it launched in Australia, it was the largest offering of product for a Prime membership. This was unlimited reading. This is on the Kindle. Unlimited TV streaming. So if there's any Brits in the audience like me, I was very attracted by the Grand Tour, which was the new Clarkson, May and Hammond production. Unlimited deliveries and special offers, in particular Prime Day. Unlimited games and game purchases. And I believe this was a first for Australia to have this option of games. And then the integration of Alexa to really make your life easy. Hi, Alexa, purchase this. And as we're seeing in the US, the launch of Alexa, understanding our behaviors, therefore predicting what we need, knowing when we will need it, reaching the point where now they can predict and order on your behalf without you having to action anything, deliver to your home, let themselves into your home, put your products away in the cupboard, so you do not even have to be partake in any point of that journey. So we really are seeing this make my life easier. We're just having a quick look here at awareness and how has this changed customer behaviour. So as we can see, awareness of Amazon Australia is steadily increasing. But even in the last 18 months, when we assumed everyone would be aware, we're still seeing this increase. However, we've seen 31% have shopped on Amazon Australia, so they've purchased. But how has this affected how they've spent on other retailers? 9% spent less at other stores, 7% have spent less at physical stores, 7% spent less at online stores, and then 8% have actually spent more. So when we add up those numbers, we can see 23% of our customers are actually spending less with other retailers and moving their business to Amazon. So is this something we should be worried about as a retailer? How do we compete in this area? If we have a look at the Amazon's image, and we asked customers, what do you associate with Amazon? We can see value for money really has decreased since it launched. Customers are not seeing this demonstration of value products. Large range, convenience, but not so much value. We can also see quality of product has decreased. And yet an increase in innovation, which I think is very interesting here. So we can see that while customers are purchasing with Amazon, their perception of the retailer is very much decreasing. So what does this mean for us as a retailer? Well, how are we demonstrating the value? How are we demonstrating quality? These are key elements that all customers are looking for, but as a retailer, we quite often take for granted. So how as a retailer can you demonstrate to your customers that you are providing value? And value doesn't necessarily mean the lowest price. So we asked, do you trust Amazon? And at the moment, #1 trusted brand in America. However, very different story in Australia. We can see the growth of customers saying, no, this is not a brand I trust. Very much up at 26% now. So as a retailer, how do you develop this customer trust? How do you bridge this to really make sure customers are trusting you and therefore coming back to you? So these aspects are quite relevant, I believe, for everybody. Why do customers trust Amazon? Good reputation, have used them before, been in business a long time, online reviews, so all quite standard aspects. Word of mouth is quite high, and reviews. So I think as a retailer, we need to be understanding how can we influence our word of mouth? How can we get our customers to talk? How can we get them to tell their friends? And if we think back to our personality types, our harmonizer are very much looking for social proof. The largest sector in Australia as well. So how do we utilize this knowledge that they will be influenced by word of mouth, friends' reviews, online blogs, and really use this to our advantage? Why do we not trust Amazon? I just have a bad feeling. Well, it's not much we can do about that one. They are new to Australia. I think this one was quite interesting. They are new. So for retailers looking to compete, really showing your heritage in Australia, your credentials. So even though Amazon 25 years young this year, it's not translating because it's a new country and customers are seeing that they don't understand the country. So showing your heritage in Australia is really a key differentiating factor. We can also see that the media have had quite an influence on Amazon's distrust amongst customers, with 1 in 5 customers saying they have been influenced on the media. And as we touched on earlier, whilst the media are often talking doom and gloom, this is not always in actuality what is happening or what our customers are thinking. So we can see this knock-on effect. I think one of the other things for distrust was this disparity between prices in America and Australia. So we did have a quick look here to really understand, is this a reality or is this a perception, and is the closing of the American site, did this just add this customer distrust? So as we can see, we just picked out a few products here. There is differences between the two prices. However, it's not always that America is cheaper. It is working in both directions. So I think it all is depending what you are looking for. And we have savvy customers now that know how to shop. They've got information at their fingertips at all time. So I think as a retailer, being the first to give your customers that information, you show transparency. That will really make them trust you. How do we show transparency across the customer journey? across the product journey, from manufacturer right the way through to on the shop floor. And then this in itself, building the trust with your customer. So here's the question, has Amazon changed customer behavior? And the answer, whilst overwhelmingly no, 77%, I was actually more interested in this 15%, which to me is still a large amount that says, yes, it has changed the way I behave. So 15% of the population said Amazon has had an impact on my life. And again, coming back to the fact it has been around 18 months. So we're seeing in such a short space of time, it really has impacted customer behavior. And I think the first one, it saves me time. And in all the other research we do, we're seeing time really is a currency. Customers really value time. We see that over 70% of millennials are really looking for retailers that can help save them time, create that frictionless experience. So the fact that customers see this as what Amazon can do for them really is a strength. When we again come back to millennials, and I know we don't like to talk demographics, but if we just think about millennials for a moment, by 2020, they will be the largest spenders globally. This means next year, within 6 months, our millennials will have a large share of the dollar. So we really need to understand why they behave the way they do. So this, it saves me time, very important. And also what I found interesting here is I use it to compare prices. So what Amazon has done is actually given customers more information about what is available to them. The ability to compare prices very easily across products. And even if that means that they will go elsewhere, it's given them that information. I think here we've fairly touched on this previously in the presentation. And we wanted to know if they spent less, which particular categories. So what we can see since our previous research is toys. So Amazon have really gone into the toy category in the last 12 months. And this is really evident in all the figures from customers. Their awareness that Amazon sells toys, the fact that they're saying, I purchased them, and the fact that they're saying, yep, and I'm actually getting better deals, saving money in this category. So we really are seeing that come across in these numbers. But we also asked, not only have you signed up for Prime, but would you consider signing up? So if we remember, we had 7% of the population that already are Prime members. And when we look at this, we have over 50% of customers who would either consider signing up for Amazon or yet undecided, not too sure, which is a very large sector of the population if we think that 1 in 2 Australians would potentially be an Amazon Prime member. And when we look again at these two sectors of our adventurers now performers, this increases significantly. 38% already saying, yes, I would definitely consider signing up. And when we know that our performers are our largest spending sector, this is very much adding up nicely for Amazon. They will spend the money and they're attracted to the company. So we then asked, well, we've talked a lot about those that will sign up, but why are people not signing up? There are no products. I don't understand the benefits. So 37%, I don't understand the benefits. But as we saw earlier, this is becoming clearer to customers. So I think this will decrease as a reason as the development of Prime and customer understanding. But what we can see here, which is quite interesting, is I do not trust Amazon. 1 in 5 customers, that's a reason why we're not signing up for Amazon Prime. But also, what jumped onto the radar is I'm concerned about how Amazon would use my data. And as we're going to touch on, this is really coming up in customer minds recently. This is really raising to the forefront. And over the last few years, we've seen an increase in customer awareness about ethics, sustainability, and now this data usage seems to really be moving forward and coming top of minds. And my prediction is that this will definitely become forefront of customer minds in the next few years, in particular for retailers that are playing in this omni-channel space. And apologies for my use of the word data. I'm still British. I cannot bring myself to say data yet. I apologize there. So we then asked the question, why would you sign up for Amazon? Or why did you? Prime Video. So this offering of these exclusive TV shows that you can only get on Amazon Prime. And if we think back to the pricing, so they're very much aggressively priced in Australia at $4.99 a month for your initial trial, I believe rising to $6.99 a month after the first couple of months. But when we compare this to the like of Netflix, which is around $13 a month, I believe, and Stan, this is still significantly cheaper, half the price. So customers very much coming in purely for the Prime Video, the main reason for them to join. And then after that, seeing all the other benefits that Prime is offering to them in this really aggressive strategy to try and gain share in this sector. We've also seen that 27% of customers who haven't yet purchased from Amazon say they are likely to do so. Which is, again, when we look at this comparing to almost 50% who would consider joining Prime, and then we're saying that 27% of customers who haven't purchased on Amazon are likely to, and we add this to the 25% that already have purchased. So we're seeing this really build up a picture of the proportion of Australians that really are thinking about Amazon as part of their journey. So Amazon Prime, very much a driver of why customers purchase on Amazon. And we can see for 20%, 18% now, that is the reason that they come to Amazon. So the whole strategy, as you would say, is for Amazon to get customers into that ecosystem. We can see that price and convenience really up there for the reasons why customers are choosing Amazon. And so as a retailer, how can you, if we cannot compete on price, what other options can we give? So we keep coming back to this time as a currency, frictionless experience. So how do we as a retailer look at our end-to-end processes to ensure we are able to offer this frictionless experience? We are able to offer fast delivery, convenient delivery, click and collect options, and really looking at that whole customer journey to understand what can we offer, what is our point of difference. So we're going to come back to data now, and this was what prevents you from shopping on Amazon. However, the answers are quite relevant for any online business. As we'd expect, I prefer to shop in store. I like to see it, touch it. I like to support local retailers. So we kind of would expect them to sit at the top. First, quite interesting is I do not like to give out my banking credit card information. I have concerns over my private information. I do not want them to collect data on me. Much higher than we would have initially expected. And over traditional reasons, it takes too long, payments, right product, experience. I think we are definitely seeing this use of data being at the forefront of customers' minds. And when we look back at the changes that we've seen in Europe, I think we're going to see very much a move in this area in the next 12 to 18 months. So as a retailer, what does this mean? As we utilize our databases really as a way to connect with our customers, and they are invaluable to us as a retailer. So if customers are less likely to pass over their information to shop online, what should we be doing here? Well, we come back to building this customer trust. How can we build customer trust? And then in relation to that, transparency. So by really showing how we're collecting data, why we're collecting data, how it's utilized, how we are protecting that data, and really sharing this with our customers and being very overt with the way we operate will not only build trust, but also build customers into our environments, make them join our loyalty schemes, make them purchase online. And this was a quite shocking stat that 66%, so that's 2/3 of Australians, are concerned about privacy when shopping online. So again, it's just reiterating that this really is at the forefront of Australians' minds when they are purchasing online and they're joining loyalty schemes and sharing their personal information. And what I thought was quite interesting here is that while we see that the majority are concerned and 1 in 3 are very concerned, but nearly 80% of those that are concerned have changed the way they behave. So it is actually affecting customer behaviour. And the number one reason, I only purchase with online retailers I can trust. So we can really see some themes coming out in this research that Trust is becoming more at the forefront of customer mindset, and it's really becoming important to build this trust with your customers. We're also seeing that 26% do not sign up for newsletters as frequently. So we're really going to start to see this struggle to build our databases. And as we know, as marketers and retailers, that the database is such a valuable tool. So if customers are less likely to give over their information, what can we do about this? This is quite an interesting one. Personalization of emails. So we asked, how do you feel about personalized emails? And it was quite an even split, which I was quite surprised by. 43% I do not like this. Even more so with our traditionalists, growing to 52%. So if we know that we have this customer, personalized emails are not going to be working on them. So we need to be understanding what are our other methods of communication. But then when we look in reverse, our performers, again, much prefer to have emails tailored to them to really get rid of all of the excess noise. So again, this really comes back to understanding who is your customers, and therefore what methods of communication are they looking for from you? What is their journey with you? What are their points of contact? A little look into AI. So this is the growth of voice-activated AI. And we asked, would you consider purchasing, and have you already purchased? So while Amazon's quite low, 4% on Echo, we can see 12% on Google Home and 1% another brand. So we're seeing that 17% of the Australian population already have AI, increasing massively to 25% with performers already having AI in their homes. And a further 25% are interested in purchasing. So what does this mean? Well, for a start, if we have these sectors that really are into AI in their homes, have we got ourselves ready for this? Do we have voice-enabled shopping on our websites? Is this something that is in our future strategic plan? And really understanding what this means for us as a business. Is it something we should be concentrating on? And as I always say, we should never be trying to do everything for everybody. But again, understanding, is this something that our customers are looking for? And if we look at the adventurers, 40% would consider purchasing and 19% already own. So if you know that the adventurers are one of your key segments, that's 60% say, yep, I want AI in my home. So we really need to consider what is our offer in that space. So just come to a couple of conclusions here. Well, as a retailer, should we be thinking about how we can compete or how we can collaborate with Amazon? Well, let's just have a quick look. If we're thinking about competing, what do we need to consider? Well, trust. As we can see throughout this presentation, trust is really much a key point to build with our customers. What are our warranties? How can we guarantee our security? How can we build this trust? What is our fulfillment model? So what are actually the processes that we have in place to really implement this frictionless consumer experience? What is our pricing? Are we competing on a value level with Amazon, or are we adding value? And if we're adding value, how are we doing that? Are we doing that with additional services in store, additional experience? Utilizing all the different channels that we've got to bring customers into the stores. So again, this is very much a differentiator. The store experience is still key for the majority of customers. So how do we utilize all these channels to really build on each other? How can we add value? And how can we build this brand story? So effectively, if we're going to build trust, really, what is your brand story? What is your point of difference? Why would customers come to you? And really understanding who are the segments that you are attracting, who wants to shop with you, and maybe who are the gaps that you currently haven't got but could be having, and really understand the nuances of what they are looking for. And then if we're looking to collaborate, what should we be thinking about? What is our strategy here? How is this going to affect the ecosystem with everything else that we are operating in our stores? What sort of pricing level should we be having for Amazon? Should we be having particular products that we really are focusing purely for Amazon? How does this come back to our core brand? Is this going to elevate our brand? Is this going to damage our brand? How should we have this relationship? we should have a pure channel strategy purely for Amazon. So we should be thinking of it as our website, as our in-store, and our Amazon strategy, very much separate, very much a volume margin play, and very much we're less likely to develop our customer loyalty through Amazon, as they're seeing Amazon as the brand that they're shopping with rather than you individually. So this really needs to be considered if this is the method that you're going to go down. So just a few conclusions from this research. The rise of privacy being on consumers' minds. 66% of consumers say they're concerned about their privacy online. And very much, as we can see, the rise of distrust with Amazon. So how do we utilize this to bring it all together? Well, doing transparency in your data usage and showing your security processes to really build that customer trust. I think as retailers now, because we place so much value on the customer information we collect, we now need to reiterate this back to the customers as to how we are utilizing this to really keep them secure. Number 2, slow down, trust. And again, we saw this fed through from the very beginning. And we can very much see this as a way that retailers can use this to our advantage. How can we show trust? How can we show securities, warranties, guarantees, brand heritage? And it comes down to all the different cues, returns policy, and building this relationship with our customers to really build this customer loyalty. Understanding their personalities. So we've touched on this a little bit today. So we really understand how different personalities look for different aspects, different cues, different journeys, different points of contact. So by really understanding who your customer personalities are, you can really tailor that offer. And by doing that, we're not alienating our other customers. We're just really creating a much more connected and much more emotional connection with these target segments. And finally, understanding who is your target and what is your point of difference. What is going to make you different to Amazon? What are our customers looking for? And that way you can focus where your budget goes. So again, I always like to come back to, we don't need to be everything to everybody. We don't need to please everybody. So really understanding what is your reason d'etre? Why are you here? And what is special about you? And then by utilizing that to really attract a targeted segment of customers. So that's fantastic, everyone. Thank you very much for listening today. And if you've got any questions, I'm more than happy to answer any questions. Or if you'd like to contact me offline as well, again, more than happy for you to send me an email at anastasia@retaildoctor.com.au. I will be getting in contact with all participants just to share information. But again, happy to answer any questions, and thank you for your time today. Hopefully you've all found it very interesting. I think no questions at the moment, so I'll thank you all there. And we'll sign off. Look forward to seeing you at our next series of webinars. We have our second webinar next week, which is understanding the steps to business fitness. So that really is understanding all aspects that contribute towards a successful business, and a retail 101, as we say. Fantastic. Thanks, guys.